right, this is Dan Meehan for Fight News Australia, and today we have a very special interview with both halves of one of the most talked about rivalries in Aussie MMA history. So, of course, these two men will do battle in the main event of Eternal 69 on September 16th with the Eternal lightweight title on the line. So, first of all, we have the defending champion on the left of screen here. It's the premature finisher, Mr. Aidan Aguilera. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Thank you. I just want to try something out. There we go. Nice.
There we go. Shots fired. There we go. So that was a good way to start off. And of course, the recipient of that gesture was, of course, the challenger and the former champion. You know, we know him as the smiling assassin. It's Mr. David Martinez. How are you, mate?
Oh, fantastic, brother. How about yourself?
Yeah, good. So thanks guys for being here. And now I guess let's get to the bottom of this. All right, like this this rivalry's been brewing for some time now since you guys were booked to face each other at Coastal Combat in April last year. So Aidan, you've long been known as one of the the nice guys of Aussie MMA, but you've been on a bit of a relentless pursuit of David on social media ever since that booking. So can you tell us where this has come from?
Sure. Well, I'm not spouting like complete bullshit here. What happened was we were booked to fight Coastal Combat last year, I believe. I think it was last year. David had pulled out with an injury, which is fine. It happens, I guess. I've never done it, but each their own, whatever. And then the issue came about when the day after the scheduled fight, he decided to compete in the grappling competition when he was supposedly injured. So that's where it all started. Yeah. From there, had a bit of a jab, declared him for being a coward, moved on. Then, maybe roughly 2 months later, maybe less, there was another show happening in Townsville, and we were both applied to fight. So I asked for that fight immediately. I said, perfect, let's make this fight, let's do this. And I was told by the matchmaker that they had turned me down on the grounds that I'd been basically insulting post the last fight. Yeah, so I'm not just making stuff up here. The things I'm saying are all facts, David pulled out of the fight, it's a fact. He refused to fight me, which is another fact. He's sitting down like a girl. These are all facts then.
Right, there we go. Dave, what's your side of the story? How's the rivalry played out for you?
Yeah, man. Well, it was unfortunate that I had to pull out with an injury, but if the injury comes good, why am I not allowed to compete in freaking gold medals or something? So I had to pull out, but I'd already been replaced, so it's not like when the injury comes good, I can just say, hey, can you retire, and I'll just retake the fight. So that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, fair enough. And Dave, you played a pretty straight bat for the most part on social media, and but obviously after beating Tim Schultz at Eternal 65, it's it's fair to say you decided to push back. So climbed the cage and sort of returned Aidan's call out. So where did that come from? What was the turning point for you?
It just seemed like I had the timing for it, brother.
Yeah, right. So it just seemed like the the right time to call him out. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, it obviously it's obviously started as a sporting and sort of professional rivalry, but Aidan, has it sort of become personal for you, or is it still sort of a professional rivalry?
Mate, it's always personal. This is my life. This is what I do. And I'm at, I'm in the fight business, I'm in the show business, so I'll make it personal, This was a fight that I've wanted for a very long time, I was on a 3-fight skid when I asked for the fight. Sorry, 2-fight skid, I should say. When I asked for the fight, thought, I wanted the easiest fight in the lightweight division, build myself back up. And since then, it's just become about, making things right. He owes me a fight. We've accumulated a fair bit of interest, which I'll give to you. That's all right, we'll compound it. And he owes me a fight, and I'm going to take it, and lo and behold, you can see the charisma dripping off this guy. I've managed to build up single-handedly one of the most anticipated fights in Australian MMA history, and I'm doing it with a guy that has the personality of like wet cardboard with a smiley face drawn on it.
Yeah, right. Well, Dave, how does the rivalry sit with you? Has it sort of become personal, or is it still sort of professional from your end?
I still feel pretty professional, man. Aiden has been a very class act in terms of building up the rivalry. I wouldn't disagree with it. He has single-handedly built this into something incredible. Uh, you want to talk about the storyline going it's been about a year and a half since we were first able to fight. Now here we are fighting for Australia's most prestigious lightweight title, and like all credit to Aiden for building it up, man. The people are hyped for it, and that's all because of him.
Yeah. Do you feel like this is sort of more sort of show business than actual real beef?
Oh well, I feel more show business. I don't know how Aiden feels. He's looking a bit sour over there, so he might be feeling a bit real there.
Potentially. Well, I guess what sort of led us up to this point was Becca versus Aguilera at Eternal 66. Now, first of all, Aidan, how was your first experience as an Eternal fighter?
Pretty fucking easy, really. Yeah, not how I wanted to go down. It was cool to be main eventing my first show, which was for Eternal, which is cool. Obviously, not how I wanted it to happen. I felt great, did the work. I was not chasing any easy fights. Going after the hardest guy in the division twice in a row. No one else was putting their name up for it. That's how I got the opportunity. So no, I was happy to be there. Happy to still be there and be involved, and looking to solidify the belt.
Absolutely, and of course there was perhaps those that thought that maybe it was like lucky for lack of a better word, a lucky way to sort of win the title. But we've seen with sort of like Chris Weidman and Anderson Silva in the past. There's that sort of leg checking is a sort of it's been put up as a real technique. So so how do you reflect on the title win itself?
Well, I'll tell you what, if there's always an element of luck in MMA, but if we want to call it like a lucky thing, I'll tell you what, Dave, first thing you do when you come out to the next fight is bang a right leg kick into me as hard as you possibly can with no setup, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, there you go.
Hang on, can I interrupt for a second?
Sorry, what was that?
Aiden, you're chasing the. Yeah, sorry, can I interrupt?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Aiden, you're chasing the hardest fights that you can get, right? Well, why then tell me that I'm the easiest fight? That's why you wanted me.
It's time. I'm due for an easy one. I've had a lot of really hard fights in a row, so it's time. I feel like I've earned it. Earned a little break.
So you do want an easy fight. But...
Is there a delay, or are you just really slow? Damn, like that one. Damn, like that one.
I think there might be a little delay.
There's no delay. It's just like we know the answer.
Right. So Aidan, do you feel like you need an emphatic performance here to silence the haters?
I'm always looking for that performance. Yeah, I want it. It's made me hungry for it. This is the first time that one of the clips has gone proper viral, and I made the mistake of reading about 20 of the comments and decided that was a terrible idea. So definitely, yeah, I built my whole career off quick finishes. It's what I do because it's they call me the premature finisher for a reason, and winners come first, and I always come first in everything I do. Everything. So it's important to me. Yeah, absolutely. If anything other than a decisive victory is not going to be what I'm looking for, I'm going to be pretty disappointed in that.
Yeah, sure. And Dave, obviously the Aidan's last fight didn't last all that long, so there's not a whole lot to sort of draw on. But what did you make of Aidan's title win?
Oh, just really unfortunate, man. I don't think that's the way anyone wanted it to go, least of all Aidan. But he conducted himself pretty well afterwards, respectful, and yeah, just a shame, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And what would reclaiming the Eternal title mean to you, Dave?
Oh, that's always been the goal, man. And I've been just taking fights where I can on Eternal and just working my way back toward that title.
Yeah, definitely, and you've obviously worked your way back to the title shot with wins over Dim Skillies and Tim Schultz. So yeah, it's obviously good to be back on the winning track, and we've seen some clear improvements in in your game and your striking and those sorts of things. So yeah, how do you reflect on those fights?
Oh well, it's a lot of fun to be in there with Dimps, man. And Timmy and I have always had a sort of, oh yeah, we're going to fight one day, and sort of came about.
Was that
Yeah.
an end of the sentence? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, I think we kind of lost a little bit there. But Aidan, how do you sort of assess Dave's recent form?
Man, it's one of those things where you look at the guy and he looks like a Make-A-Wish kid that never got sick, and it's just he's you like that one too. I got him again. Obviously, he's at the end of the day, we know what Dave is. Dave is what he is. He's working on his striking, obviously, but it's never going to be his strong suit, and I think he knows that, and that's fine. I think he is pretty consistent with what he brings to the table, and he's a bit of a one-trick pony, but it's a good trick. He's got a lot of rear naked choke finishes. I think I know exactly what he wants to do. I really do believe that. He wants to work his way inside with some, slappy leg kicks down low, shoot in. His head will be a bit too far forward. His legs will be a bit too far back. Get me to the cage. When he can't finish the double, he'll go to a single, pull me off, get a body lock, try an inside or outside leg trip, get me down, probably to half guard. Then he'll try and slide over to three-quarter mount, stretch me in a mount. I'll turn over, give my neck, get the choke. It's the same fight every time. He's the only guy I've ever seen that's managed to have a boring fight with Dim Skillies, which is an achievement itself, pretty impressive. But he's clearly working on his stuff. I like to, I talk my shit, but I do my research and I know my shit too. I know what I'm getting myself in for, and I believe I'm a good matchup for him.
Yeah, right. And Dave, of course, this all leads us to Eternal 69, and I heard you've been spending some time at Freestyle MMA under Joe Lopez and Alex Volkanovski. So, can you tell us about your training camp so far and the thinking behind heading down to Freestyle?
Yeah. So I was just called down to help out with Volkanovski's last camp when he fought Holloway. And I really enjoyed the experience, so I decided to go down again for this camp and get a piece of the action myself. And of course, getting to work with people like Volkanovski, Joe Lopez, and people like Jamie Malarkey and that, incredible. So that's in terms of the MMA world in Australia, it's pretty high up.
Absolutely. Do you feel like you've sort of learned some lessons there that you'll take with you to the cage at Eternal 69?
Well, plenty of extra tricks to go along with a summary of the game plan. Appreciate that, Aidan.
Always learn a head kick. Oh.
So Aidan, how's training camp been for you?
Yeah, really good, mate. I won't lie. I've been dealing with a couple of little injuries that have come about from just carrying the marketing of this fight and this interview as well. But I'll push through and I'll make it to the day. I'm pretty excited to get in there. I'm ready to go.
Beautiful, and I hear I think you might be part owner of Adrenaline MMA now. So can you tell us a little bit about that shift and sort of how you balance life as a fighter and gym owner?
I've been part of Adrenaline since I was born, so it's it's easy to do it when it's something you love to do. I love being around the gym, so it's been pretty cruisy. The team always pick up the slack if needed. If I need to train, they're there to help me out. So no, it hasn't been a hard shift at all. Just a pleasure to be involved.
Awesome, and I'm told that Eternal 69 also marks the 10-year anniversary of the gym. So you got two teammates, Val Sharapov and Matt Myers, on the card as well. So can you tell us about the significance of the night for you and the team?
It's always awesome to be able to fight with the other boys. It's guys that I've watched come up. So it's going to be just a really exciting night. I think we're going to have a clean sweep, and it's going to be awesome. Can't wait.
Awesome, and I guess you kind of touched on it here, but how do you feel you sort of match up with Dave, and what's your biggest advantage?
I think I'm faster, far more versatile. What was that?
You're going with your good looks. Your biggest
Oh,
advantage.
of course, that's a no-brainer. Yeah, definitely faster. Want to remind everyone at home, there's no lag. Like, it's just Dave. I'm far more versatile. I think I have the defensive wrestling to deal with him. I don't think he's capable of taking me down out in the open. He's going to want to get me to the cage, which is fine. I've dealt with that plenty of times in the past. It's just got to keep him off my back, and I'll be sweet.
There you go. And Dave, how do you view the matchup, and what do you feel your biggest matchup on the night will be?
Well, my biggest matchup. I'm having 2 fights on the night.
No, your biggest advantage.
This motherfucker, Jesus Christ.
Oh, well, I'm losing out in the looks department, but yeah. Well, I'll just tell you basically the game plan, right? So I run out and I just swing a massive overhand right and hope it connects better than my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, solid plan. Now, did you feel like there's any sort of like extra pressure to put on an exciting fight, like in off the back of a rivalry like this, Dave?
No, not at all, brother.
He doesn't care about having exciting fights, Dan. We know this. Come on, man.
And what about you, Aidan? Does it sort of change your approach at all with sort of the extra heat that's behind this one?
You look back at my career, I think I've got 6 or 7 knockouts, 5 of them in the first round. I think I've got 1 or 2 first round submissions. I'm doing the same thing I'm always going to do. Just go out there and throw bones and tendons and tissues at him as hard as I can until he falls over or the fight ends.
Yeah, solid plan. So, have you got any sort of like last words to each other before we sort of wrap up here, Aidan? Have you got anything that you want to say to David?
Sure. I know we're having fun with this and trying to market this fight and do all that. And if things ever got too far and it got to the point where feelings were hurt or things felt too personal, I would like to say I'm sorry that you don't have a better sense of humor. Everything that sounds hilarious. Fuck you.
There you go. So yeah, he wanted to say that he's sorry to absolutely nobody, I think. So yeah, I guess Aidan's going to have to watch the rest of this back later on. But have you got anything that you want to say to Aidan before we wrap up?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to say, man. Like all the words and the back and forth all comes to an end in September 16th, where we stand across the cage from each other and duke it out. And
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, really cannot wait for that.
Yeah, definitely. No, look, we're all looking forward to it as well. So, Aidan's missed out on the opportunity here. But before I let you go, Dave, do you have any sponsors or anyone you'd like to shout out? I'll hand the reins over to you.
Oh man, all the gyms that train at Ignite Martial Arts, Hellraiser, Muscle Heart, and Tribal. Shout out to those guys, and then my sponsors, Guardian, Author, Cajun Canvas, and among others. The support for this camp and just for me in general lately has been incredible, man, and I can't thank those people enough.
Awesome. Well, Dave and Aidan, if you're watching, thank you so much for stopping by, and all the best on September 16th.
Cheers, brother. Thanks, Aidan,
Beautiful.
wherever you are.